Now let's talk about what makes a good lot. Now you always hear location, location, location in real estate, but that's getting tougher when prices are skyrocketing. You might not be able to choose exactly where you want to live, but what you can do is not settle for a bad lot. Always choose the best lot you can. Do not settle, guys. So I'm pretty passionate about this just because, when I'm driving around, I'm sitting at a light, I'm looking at these houses around, and I'm thinking, who the hell would buy on the corner of a major intersection? It does not make sense. Especially out here in Kleinburg, it's even worse because you have so much open land. Why? You could buy a farm and throw your house somewhere on there. But you choose to build a house right at the corner of a busy intersection. It makes no sense. And when you come to sell this house, you're going to be holding the bag. Nobody is going to want to buy it from you. And even if it's not even that bad of a lot, people just think it is. People always think of the worst. They're trying to put down the house thinking, okay, why should I not buy this? They're being very cautious. So please, guys, do not settle for a bad lot. So what am I talking about? Let's start with, I'll give you a few examples. Don't buy a house that's on the outskirts of a subdivision. Let's take a look at the map. Right here, you see this is at the edge of the subdivision. This is New Huntington over here. These houses are right on the edge of the subdivision. And two reasons. The first is that when you walk outside your house, you want to feel like you're part of a community, or you want to be nestled in somewhere nice and quiet. Let's say, pretend you're walking your dog, you get out of the house and you go down for a nice stroll in your quiet neighborhood. You don't want to walk out of the house and then look at some dirty pavement with cars going by. It just doesn't feel homey. The second reason is that people who are buying these houses, they're looking to buy them for kids. They want to settle down. And the last thing you want is for kids to be running around outside close to a major intersection or a main road. So people are going to discount that. They're not going to want that when they're buying a house. So avoid buying on the outskirts of a subdivision. Now, something that goes pretty close to that is do not buy on a main road as well. If you look right up here, above Kleinburg, right at Nashville Road in New Huntington, there are several houses here, and it just boggles my mind. Why would you live there? You're constantly going to have the lights from the cars. You're going to have the noise from the car. You don't get any privacy. And really, if it doesn't even bother, it probably wouldn't even bother me that bad. But other people, when looking at that, they just won't want to buy there. So you're going to be stuck holding the bag when it comes to sell. You also don't want to buy inside a subdivision. It's not that bad here in Kleinburg. It feels very homey when you walk out of these towns right over here. But I would avoid it. Avoid buying a house on a busy road in Kleinburg. So what do I mean here? So here's Barron's. This is Major Mac down here. This is where you enter the subdivision. So this is the perfect example down here. You're buying on a main road on the outskirts. So right here, this is going to be commercial. Right now it's dirt. This is dirt. It just really doesn't feel like you're part of the subdivision. You're just right on the edge. Who wants to be the first house in a subdivision? It doesn't make sense. You get every single car that comes into the subdivision, it's going to pass by your house. The noise, the lights, it just doesn't make sense. Same with East Corners Boulevard here, right? So you have this oil pipe that's buried underground, and then you have the natural woodlands that they're not going to be paving over or do anything like that. So right here, all these cars from up here, they're all going to be going up and down this main road. So you're going to come out of your house and you're going to be staring at pavement. You're going to be staring at a chain link fence. Something that's somewhat similar to that is don't buy on a T, right? So what do I mean by that? Don't buy where two roads meet. Two reasons. Number one, the Chinese don't like that. It's unlucky fortune. It's as if your fortune's coming out the door going straight out onto the road. I mean, to most people, they don't really care about that. But you're going to have the traffic and the lights right at your house. And those headlights are going to come straight into your house when those cars come to that T. And not only that, do you really want to have your driveway right in the middle of the intersection? So if you're going to pull into your driveway, you're literally coming into the intersection. Or when you're pulling out into an intersection. It just doesn't make sense, guys. Avoid T's. You'll see those types of houses also don't really sell too well. And again, same thing, downtown Toronto, bungalows, knockdown bungalows going for $2 million. If the house was at a T, it would not sell. And then the neighbor's house would get $2.1 million. So avoid that at all cost. Next, we have what your house backs onto and what it fronts on. You do not want to be backing onto parking lot, apartment building, something that's noisy, a main road, anything of that nature. And you don't want to front on it either. In Kleinburg, the biggest thing is the train. So there is a train that cuts both subdivisions in half. Right here, the CP rail. I do not understand how any of these people right here bought right in front of a train. I mean, there's a disclosure that you sign at the sales center. Tell anybody who buys a house 200 meters from a train has to sign a disclosure. And I get it. Over here, it's not too bad. You sometimes hear it. You know what? It's not even the noise. It's just the thought that you're going to be walking out and you're going to see this dirty train come by multiple times a day. And to me, I wouldn't even really care. It's just, I know that people are going to think of this and think, oh God, I'm never going to buy that house. There's a train that passes right in front of it. It's real estate. Choose the good lot. Why would you say, hey, you know what? I'm buying a $1 million home. I'm gonna buy it right in front of a train. What's worse is across from this subdivision, there are $1.5 to $2 million homes, and they are fronting on a train. And what's strange about that is that people who are buying $1.5 to $2 million homes, they're smart people. They've done something right in their life to be able to afford a house like that. But then what happens? What's the thought process? They come to buy a house and they think, okay, there's a train there. Okay, that's fine. I'll sign off on it. Do not front on the train. Do not back onto a train. That is probably the worst thing that you could do here. Worse than being on the outskirts, worse than being on a main road. Do not front or back on the train. On the flip side, what would you want to be fronting on and backing onto? Green space is always good. So you always pay a premium for a green space if you're backing onto a park, or if you're fronting a park. That's a good thing. You probably usually pay $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 premium at the sales center if you want to do that. That is no problem at all. Or ravines. Ravines are huge. At first I never got it. Who wants to be on a ravine? Blah, 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 blah. But it's privacy. You're looking into the woods. It's nice. So any kind of water or ravine, that's a plus. So you want to look for those. They'll probably sell at a slight premium. One thing I'm not 100% sure on myself is this school right here. If you're walking through a school, you'll see these houses that are right around them. And I kind of like that. I think it's nice. You kind of come out the front door, you know, you're walking your dog and you're right at this huge piece of green space. You see people there, you feel like you're part of something. I don't mind that at all. I kind of like that. That's probably a plus. And I don't think that will hurt the value of your home. It's personal preference. But if you're buying off a site plan, look at this. You really have to watch out because you don't know how that school is going to be placed on that piece of land when nothing is there. And if you look at this example, I took a video here to show you. This poor guy or poor gal, they bought a house and their driveway is right in front of the entrance of the school where cars drive by. And I mean, he didn't really choose that, but I mean, you're basically stuck at one of the worst spots around this school. You have traffic in and out. If you want to pull out, you're basically pulling out in the middle of an intersection where cars are pulling in and out. It's horrible. I feel bad for them. They probably didn't choose it, but they probably didn't get a discount either. You just don't want to gamble with that. That's why you want to buy resale when you're buying something a bit more tricky like that. Next, something I do not understand is right up here. So I already told you, do not buy this because it's beside, it's on the outskirts of the subdivision. But there's a cemetery. You're fronting on a cemetery. I honestly don't know how the builders sold these lots. Why on earth you're buying $1 million home and you're gonna be fronting on a damn cemetery? And you're on the outskirts and you're on a main road. You'd be damn sure that they didn't get a discount for buying those homes. I don't really see what people are thinking when they're doing that. Just stay away from that. It doesn't make sense to buy a lot. That is a horrible lot. That's probably one of the worst lots available in this area. Next, it's the little things that don't really matter, but if you're gonna go the extra mile, why not? You don't really want to be on the side of the sidewalk because the sidewalk will cut your driveway in half, and then you're gonna be screwed because you can't really fit more than 2 cars on it. You can, and then you'll see people doing this. I'll put a video here. They're parking on that small spot, and it looks awkward, it looks horrible. Half your car's hanging off. If you put it sideways, it just looks horrible. And it sucks because you paid the same amount for those houses. So not only do you have to upkeep the sidewalk, but you also only get a 2-car driveway instead of a 4-car driveway. So that's big. That's something, if you can avoid buying off site plan or resale, try to get one that does not have the sidewalk. Because the guys across the street are laughing. I mean, I don't know what you do when you have kids and they get their cars. What are you gonna do? You know, you're kind of screwed. You have to start parking in the garage. And I mean, that's not a bad thing, but you don't want to be parking on that tiny little piece of land. I don't even know if that's legal because I think that's city property. Nobody says anything, but you don't want to be caught not having a space for your cars. And second is the electrical box. Again, not a big deal. This is very nitpicky. I wouldn't even, mind it, but if you can, try to avoid the electrical box. It's this big box that stands in front of your house. I mean, it's just kind of ugly. And you can't really do anything. You can put some shrubs around it, but at the end of the day, it's just an eyesore. But again, I wouldn't let that stand in the way of purchasing a good home. But if you're able to choose, this is more for the site plan. If there are lots available, then just try to avoid that, and also try to get the side of the street that does not have a sidewalk. So let's go through an example. I have a site plan here that you'd see at a sales center. It'll give you an idea of what to look for, not only at resale, but when you're kind of looking at a neighborhood. So here is Kleinburg. You enter through here. So this is Major Mac, Barron Street. So of course this here, right at the front, all of this is no good. You're right on the main road. You're on the outskirts. Avoid that. Here, again, you're on the main road. You're kind of at the beginning of the subdivision. I would nix definitely these. I would avoid these over here, but they're not too bad. You have to kind of see it. It's not that main of a road. What is a good lot? This is good. This is really good over here. Not only do you have that green space, but you're inside. This is even better over here. These would be prime lots. So you're nestled in to the community, and you're backing onto a ravine. That is great. What else? Over here, these are all great. Backing onto the ravine, nestled in. These over here, absolute disaster. This is the train over here. Do not buy in front of a train. All this is a no. Do not buy any of these homes. This is great over here, nestled into the community, facing the ravine. And these 3 houses here, nobody in front of you, you're looking into it, absolutely gorgeous, perfect lots. Same with these. These are great lots over here. And this is actually where I live. I think I live right over here somewhere. So on my street, for example, this is the sidewalks over here. So I mean, it's good. It's nestled into the community, but the sidewalk, not a deal breaker. So these are all okay. These are great homes. This is good here. Over here, you're in the turn. So this is when you're too close to a main street. So I would avoid anything, especially these corner lots. Anything here, I would not choose. Too close to the main road. All of these are on east corners. You don't want to be on a main road. Same with these, main road. Avoid like the plague. Let's go up here. This is nice and deep. You have a proposed park. I like these. These are good. I like that. Same with here. This is great up here. This is good here. Everything's good over here. Nestled in. This is good. Avoid these outskirts, cemetery, big no-no. So nix these, all these. You're looking at the street, no good. This is good over here. No, it's a bit too close to the street. I would probably nix all these. You want to be at least one block in. These are good. This is good. You're getting a sense now. This is good. This, avoid. Around the school is, you know, subjective. There you go. That should give you an idea of what you're looking for when you're looking at a site plan or when you're driving through a neighborhood. I hope that helps.